My line has ended!
Frieren Beyond Journey's End has been a phenomenon ever since it aired back in its 2023, I would say. Yeah, that's about right. I'll be the first to admit, I was pleasantly surprised by how good this anime was. I'm so used to seeing a bunch of fast-paced episodes with lots of fights and the attention to detail in regard to the lore and story taking a back seat when it comes to the anime. Now, there are some rare cases that do have a primary focus on the world. Let's say Jobless Reincarnation or Lock Horizon, among others, right? I'm not naming everyone, but those are the two off the top of my head. Both of these are among my top 10 anime. However, Frieren Beyond Journey's End simply pushed past them into a solid top 3 along 86. If you never watched that one, watch it, bro. And the first season of 7 Deadly Sins. I know, guys. 7 Deadly Sins ended up kind of being crappy after the second season, but that's why I'm saying 7 Deadly Sins first season. With my top anime being High School of the Dead. I'm just kidding, bro. No, don't kill me. I'm just kidding. Inside joke. Frieren is a surprisingly nice change of pace. It is the literal definition of a slow burn. It gradually builds up the world, the main cast, the supporting characters, and, more importantly, their relationship to the world and each other. Lore is dripped little by little, bit by bit, each episode, and does not overwhelm you. Does it sound familiar? If it does, it's because Frieren heavily, and not a conspiracy theories, like you can actually tell that it heavily borrowed from the storytelling and methodology of Tolkien, aka The Lord of the Rings. Spoiler alert, this anime takes place after the main evil of the world has been defeated. But that does not mean that evil has ceased to exist. Now, Frieren shares a striking resemblance to The Lord of the Rings, with its deep thematic of mortality, passage of time, the consequences of the passage of time, and even the fantasy aesthetics and consequential decisions. Stark, Fern, Himmel, Eisen? That might be Eisen. I might have mispronounced that. And Heater, oh man, I think I'm mispronouncing everything right now, share a lot of depth, complexity, and characteristics on par with the Fellowship of the Ring. Now, hear me out. I know it sounds kinda crazy, but give my crazy a little bit of thought, and maybe you'll see it my way. If not, you can always tell me in the video, alright? Eisen is just a stronger and more stoic parallel to Gimli. Himmel, of course, is the embodiment of Aragorn, sharing his courage, his wisdom, his kindness, and of course, prowess in battle. However, their commonality does not end there. The manner in which both meet the Grim Reaper is essentially the same. Both die of old age after accomplishing their goal to purge the evil besieging their homelands. Only difference is, Himmel did not get the girl in the end. Boy, Aragorn did, and he's got a couple sons to prove it. Stark is a manifestation of what hobbits could accomplish if they had such brutish strength. My god, imagine Frodo soloing Sauron in a sword fight. Just pull out this big hand axe and just chop him in half like a tree. Man, that'd be something to watch. Although, lore breaking, but yeah. Well, not so much. I remember hobbits were kind of like warriors, or at least their ancestors. And you know that whole part in the books where they take back the Shire? But I'm digressing. Remember, hobbits were kind of like scaredy cats, just like Stark is. It's not really brave to fight if you're already an addicted battle junkie. And I know that's kind of like repeating the same word, just different, I guess, synonym. But yeah, you need fear and the ability to push past its paralyzing effect. Courage is born as a consequence of going plus ultra, which is beyond your limits, right? For anybody not educated in My Hero Academia. Huh. The ones who are afraid the most also have the greatest potential to display bravery. But Skylar, this kind of sounds like an oxymoron. And you'd be right. But this is a message that really hits me deep. You know, for us, for me, anybody, it is not uncommon to experience fear. It's simply human nature. One might even say that to keep living is to have the courage to keep on fighting whatever life decides to throw at you. Whenever I was depressed and afraid, my miracle cure was to rewatch the entire trilogy of Lord of the Rings. Now, Frieren Beyond Journey's End kind of cheers me up as well the same way. Which, if I may say so, it is no coincidence. Continuing a little bit more with the character comparisons, let's not forget about our main character, our dear old Frieren. Who does she mirror, may you ask? It's kind of hard, no? Well, even if you don't guess, I will still tell you, because that's kind of like the purpose of the video. If you guess Gandalf the White, congratulations. You have an IQ of over 100. I hope. It's not that difficult, right? Well, Frieren is old. For sure, older than 1,000 years. But Gandalf, whew, he knocks that ball out of the park. He's older than the creation of the world. Yet, both have the same aura of wisdom and power. Frieren approaches fights kind of like the same way Gandalf does. She often acts as a guide and a mentor that will only step into the fray until it's required, and she will mostly guide her party. This provides her party, currently composed of Fern and Stark, to gain valuable combat experience and improve upon their mistakes. Obviously under guidance, because if she just throws it out there and doesn't back them up, they'll probably die. Oh, knowing the enemies in Frieren, yeah, they'll for sure would have died already. Now, one thing you may have also noticed is Frieren and Gandalf both wear white outfits. Though I do like the drip on Gandalf a bit better, mainly because he's a male, and I'm not gonna wear a skirt like Frieren. I'm not Scottish. It's a bit silly, I know, but I just had to mention that. They both act as mentors and guides to their comrades while throwing some advice here and there, providing a path to bravery for them. Right? She's making Stark constantly overcome his fears. And most of the time he ends up paralyzed from the fear after he already defeated the enemy. Pretty normal Stark behavior. A little bit of a hot take. Please don't crucify me. You can certainly argue that Frieren is in a way a fantasy of what Arwen could have become had she not perished of sadness after Aragorn passed away. Now, I know you're thinking that, like, where did you pull this out of? Did you pull this out of your ass? Well, maybe. That could be a maybe. But yeah, it's kind of clear that the parallel between Frieren and Himmel to Arwen and Aragorn is uncanny. Frieren is what Arwen would be if she went on a journey to heal her broken heart. It's kind of like a what if, how they do the whole Marvel what ifs. This could be a Lord of the Rings what if. But it's already existing, it's an anime. I know, I sound like a conspiracy theorist, but hey, those are coming out as true every day. So you do better watch out. On Fern, I'm a bit of an impasse. I couldn't really find a direct comparison to her to anybody in the Lord of the Rings. If you can come up with something, please let me know in the comments. I would love to see your thoughts on this scholarly matter. As for Heater, well, that's another character that I couldn't find a direct parallel to, except for the jovial drinking part in which 100% he embodies the dwarves and the hobbits of Middle-earth. Priesthood-wise, I don't really think Lord of the Rings delves too much into the priesthood and religion, at least not in the movies. In the book, they just mention Iluvatar and all those guys, but they're not really worshipped in the church. Maybe the elves do, but I'm not sure it's that present in the lands of man. So yeah, that's as close as a parallel that I can draw for now. The world, the environment, the short stories that expand the lore, the music, and of course, the characters, they are to die for. To hit more on the point that Frieren is heavily inspired by the Lord of the Rings, I'll outline a couple of more things so that you think, nah, I'm not that crazy. Or you probably think I'm already crazy and you're gonna think I'm even crazier. Like, oh, this guy needs fucking asylum right now. Firstly, almost all of modern fantasy is somewhat based on Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. Frieren displays a plethora of the same themes. Elves are pretty much immortal, right? But they're also fading from the world as evil is rising again. Just look at Frieren, she's like the youngest of them, she's 1,000 years old. Hey, if there's a younger one in the manga, don't correct me, because I haven't been watching anything. Well, not reading, because I've been watching. Dwarves are kind of in the centuries as well, but not the millennia, and are also on the decline. When you're looking at the landscapes, the forest, the lakes, pretty much any fantastical environment drawn, which I gotta tell you, they're drawn fantastically. Wow, I just repeated myself there. Well, it's like straight up looking at New Zealand. And where was the Lord of the Rings film? Bingo, New Zealand. Let's not forget the most obvious one. Frieren's original party that defeated the Demon Lord was composed of, think about it, 2 humans, a dwarf, and an elf. Does that sound familiar to you? Legolas, Gimli, Aragorn, and Gandalf, even though Gandalf is just in a human avatar, right? He's not coming as his angelic form, or whatever that could be. But yeah, technically that's 2 humans, a dwarf, and an elf. That sounds oddly similar, doesn't it? And lastly, there's this quote from Gandalf that kinda really cements it with Frieren. Some believe it is only great power that can hold evil in check. But that's not what I have found. It is the small, everyday deeds of ordinary folk that keep the darkness at bay. Small acts of kindness and joy. Well, kindness and love. Joy, love, kind of like the same thing. See a pattern in the way the story sets its pacing in Frieren? They're focusing on that very thing. They're not out here going to Mordor on episode 10. They're barely getting to the first checkpoint to even start on their journey. Meanwhile, they've been helping all the town folks. They've been solving small problems. Little by little, they're getting to the start of a second journey. All right, and the most definitive, 100% infallible proof is this other Gandalf quote. And it is about our mortality, which, listen well, because this does affect us. We all gotta die sometime, right? I know it's kind of grim, but it's reality. So here goes. End. No. The journey doesn't end here. Death is just another path, one that we all must take. What is the title again of the anime? Oh yeah, Frieren, Beyond Journey's End. Is it ringing any clues? Now, I cannot recommend Frieren's Beyond Journey enough. It is a masterpiece. If you remember that fuzzy, warm feeling that you get when you're reading a book that you love. Hey, if you even remember how to read, we haven't done much of that lately. Just Twitter and Reddit posts. But that's not the point. It is the exact feeling when you watch this anime. You're not watching Goku. Hey, nothing wrong with Goku. Look at my chair. I got a Goku chair. You're not watching Goku fighting the new villain of the arc. Or the week. No. You're watching a masterfully written book given form so your eyes can devour it whole. Did I go a little bit too poetic there? Hopefully not. Or yeah, if you like that. Now, don't misunderstand me. There isn't anything wrong with watching regular shonen. It's simply a matter of what you're in the mood for. You can watch whatever your heart desires. At least when it comes to anime, any shows, movies for that matter. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Now, harping a little bit more on this, watch Frieren. Like, honestly, just watch it. It is a must for any anime enjoyer. So, did I convince you? Is it basically Lord of the Rings, just anime version? Or do you beg to differ? Which, yeah, I know there's gonna be dissenting opinions, but hey, I'm all for it. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Or you can just tell me what you love about Frieren or Lord of the Rings. Right? You don't have to fight with me, because I don't want to fight. Well, more of a discussion, right? Not a fight. Anyways, if you love my video, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you really love my content, then that subscribe does wonders for me, brother or sister. Until we meet again, sons of Gondor.